Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Hello, if you are new, my name is Andrea Johnson and I help people expand their consciousness and develop out their psychic and energy work abilities. Welcome to the Good Vibe Tribe. Welcome to a sit down chit chat of what I like to call conscious coffee talks, where we discuss a topic to expand our consciousness, improve our lives. So with that being said, I have my coffee and let's dive in. How to build confidence and break free from limiting beliefs. So I'm going to break it down for you guys on how this really works, body, mind, and spirit, how our beliefs really build who we are and create our reality, and what it looks like and feels like to have limiting beliefs. I want to go over certain ways that you guys can actually recognize this and break free from the patterns. So I'm going to really describe what these things look like and feel like in your body. And by providing some definition behind some of these words, you'll be able to recognize what this type of energy is. So then you can build confidence in yourself, push past limiting beliefs, and achieve the life your soul is envisioning. When I think of confidence, I immediately think of the solar plexus. Now, the solar plexus chakra has everything to do with the relationship you have with yourself. This is where your worthiness is held. This is where your personal goals are held. This is where the beliefs that you hold about yourself and your own abilities to achieve the goals that you desire in life. That's where all this energy is held. So a lot of that is basically having confidence in yourself to achieve these things. So the solar plexus is where I feel is really the confidence center, that willpower, that drive, the goals, like, competition per se, the life you desire for yourself, the energy behind it, kind of to achieve those things is held there. It feels like for me, but we'll get to the other chakras and how they play in a little bit. So I truly believe that the way you build confidence is off of your faith and off of self-love. So this is more of the heart chakra for me, because faith is trust and basically the faith that you have in yourself to achieve your goals. So it's going to be a level of trust, and the self-love, because you definitely have to have self-love with this as well too, to achieve anything. It's going to be the energy that actually drives past the limiting beliefs. So you have to have those two energies at play when you're trying to build your confidence, because they're going to work in a system. Confidence is hindered by limiting beliefs, allowing our external world to influence our worthiness and then influence the thoughts that we hold about ourselves, which are our beliefs. Then therefore it's the lack of self-love. So those three things really, I feel like, are the core drivers that hinder our confidence. It's when we look for our worthiness in our external world. So we place our worth in the power of other people, the power of other things. So you can think about this as somebody finding self-worth in their job, and they will be controlled by that. They will think that their success is based upon their performance of a job, and really, like, that is basically somebody's judgment or thoughts about you telling you how you feel rather than you knowing how you feel. So it's really putting the power outside of yourself, and people place their worth in other people. They place their worth in jobs. They place their worth in materialistic items and money. So really, they let the value of external materialistic things determine their confidence, their self-worth. That's where I see a lot of people lose their confidence, or they're always going up and down like this, and then it's like provides an unstable way to actually create a reality around something. That's why people find it hard to maintain a status in like their business or something like that, and they really let the confidence get to them if their numbers aren't as good as they were the month before. And then of course you're already going to be born with kind of I don't want to say born, but you will be influenced by a set of beliefs from childhood. So your core beliefs and values are really going to be what builds you as a person, as a character. It builds your character, because these are the things that you fully 100% believe in, right? So your body believes this thing already, this thought, right? A belief is a thought. And no matter what you deem it as good or bad, it just is. but it may not align with who you truly want to be, right? So you might hold some beliefs that we consider limiting because they are holding you back of what you truly desire. And then of course the lack of self-love comes into play, because you have to have the power of love to drive that belief home, to build that faith, right? So I'm going to break it down in definitions to really give you a good picture of these things together. So I kind of touched on this before. A belief is just a thought that you hold about yourself. That's all it really is, guys. I think, therefore I am. And so we believe we are this conglomeration of thoughts which build the ego, right? Basically ingrained with a set of beliefs since childhood, building up our entire life. This is where it can either benefit you or, I want to say, harm you, but it can really dictate in which way that your life will go. Because if you accept a belief to be true about yourself, say like somebody told you something that wasn't true. Say somebody came up and said, you're ugly. And so then you held that belief about yourself since childhood. Like a, schoolboy came up to you on the playground and called you like ugly. And if you hold on to that as a child, you're going to always believe that you're ugly. But it's you who ultimately accepts these things as true or not true. It's the energy behind it that which makes you hold on to it or not hold on to it. So that's why we really hold on to a lot of trauma, because it doesn't feel good, right? So when an experience happens to this, and we'll get into this a little bit more, it's an action that happens to this. We physically experience something, so then that energy gets stored in the body. The emotion is what creates the power behind the thought. So when something doesn't feel good and we're like, oh, I don't like to be called ugly. Like, no, we don't like that. For some reason, it gets stuck within us because one, we start to believe it and hold on to it, because the brain likes to hold on to things that caused us pain, suffering, trauma, basically, because it thinks that if it holds on to these thoughts and beliefs, that it can prevent it from happening again, because the brain wants to keep you safe, right? So if you have a thought that you are ugly, you'll be safe from interacting with boys. It kind of keeps you not in like a relationship or things like that. That was probably a pretty poor example, but you get what I'm saying. So now that you hold this belief about yourself, your confidence is going to be hindered. You will not take the initiative to want to be in relationships, because who wants to be with an ugly person? So, and you want to protect yourself from ever being called ugly again. So you won't want to initiate relationships with a male figure, something of that nature. So you can see how it plays in. And so the body's going to hold on to that. And the longer that the body holds on to it, your cells actually start to become it. It radiates in your body. Neuroplasticity is created around this in your brain. And therefore, every action, every habit, everything that you do is dictated by this belief, because it is stored in your subconscious, which is your body. So next definition, faith. Touched on this before. But faith is going to be the thing that actually powers the belief. It's almost like a level of energy. It's a level of trust that you have in yourself. It's a level of love, per se. It's going to be the energy that you use to power the belief. And it will always be changing in your life, dependent upon the thought or the belief, and dependent upon the energy behind it, the emotion. So those two are going to change dependent upon the thought. So it's going to influence the faith that you have on yourself. To build your confidence, you're going to be working on building your faith. When life tests you, you will have to build your faith and bring yourself back to a place of self-love and remembering and trust to get into alignment to build that faith. So faith is an energy that you will use to power your belief. It can be powered up or it can be powered down, dependent upon the thought. So the belief can change, right? Dependent upon something that's happened to you in your external world. And so therefore it's going to affect your faith. law of cause and effect. The idea is here, you're going to want to build your faith, and therefore building the confidence, building the belief towards something that you want, say a goal or a belief that you are this thing that you want to be, and it's going to turn it into a knowing. Faith will be tested during this process through your conscious and subconscious mind. The mind of God, and subconscious meaning the body. And this is where you're going to figure out what your limiting beliefs are. Because what ends up happening, guys, this is how kind of the process of manifestation and becoming plays into this as well too. You're going to have a thought come up from the mind of God. Your soul is going to gift you this idea, a manifestation, a goal, something that you want to achieve, a person who you want to be like, something of that nature. And you're going to think of it, and then you're actually going to put an emotion behind it. So it may feel like love, joy, and bliss, like the thought of having this thing or becoming this thing. And then fear will step in. And fear is the sign that you have a limiting belief in your subconscious. So we only use about 10% of our conscious mind, and the rest of the 90% is the subconscious, meaning the energy that is really truly you, that your body has basically accepted as you and has manifested physically. It is the true holder of what creates your life. Now you can change this, but it's difficult as time goes on. And I think they actually say by the time you hit 35, it's almost damn near impossible to change unless you do a lot of meditation, energy work, therapy, emotional, intelligence work, things of that nature. These limiting beliefs are creating resistance to your desires. Your conscious mind has received this thought and it wants it. It wants to bring it into this existence. It wants to experience it physically. It wants to manifest it. That's the whole point. Your soul is here to manifest in the physical. The fact that fear steps in is the sign that you have a limiting belief. So it's limiting the belief that you have on yourself. That's why they call it that. So what you want to do is rewire the subconscious to then feel the love instead of the fear around the belief, because that dis-ease that you have it's pulling apart these two things. The thought is not matching up with the feeling, the action. That is a sign from your soul, basically, that it doesn't like the fact that it's limited. It's needing you to heal this limited belief. So this is where you need to get the Holy Trinity back into alignment, right? Body, mind, and spirit. So your mind is wanting this desire. Your body, the subconscious, has a limiting belief against it, and it's creating resistance. And so then it will slowly, I don't want to say kill your soul, but it will create that uncomfortable feeling. So it's not in alignment with your conscious mind and the desire that you want. So it is, like I said, your sign that you need to do some unwiring, reprogramming, meditating, whatever you want to call it, to get them into alignment, to get the conscious mind on the same level as the body. So when you know you've done this, is when you can get the feeling of dis-ease to shift to love with the same desire that caused the dis-ease within the body. So then let's go over what a knowing is. A knowing is 100% body, mind, and spirit all in alignment on this belief. It is 100% that you're going to be this thing because you already are it. You already feel it internally in the body. So the thought is in alignment with the body, the subconscious. And so you already know it has happened because you feel it has happened. It's a psychic ability. They call them knowings. And we cannot explain how we know these things, especially when there's not facts to back it up. our body has accepted it to be true. And so therefore, when you get the subconscious to actually get on board with the conscious, then you can create the reality of your dreams, pretty much. Like it's already been done. And they say this within prayer too. You pray knowing it has already been done. I think it's Matthew 11:14. Ye shall ask for it and ye shall be done, something like that. Can't remember it off the top of my head, but that's how you should pray. You pray knowing that it has already been done, and you're basically just going along the journey. You have to take the journey. So how this works, guys, this is where you manifest miracles pretty much, and things just start happening for you when you're in this type of alignment. So because you are this thing, because you are already radiating this energy in your body, so now this becomes who you are. Your beliefs, your values, everything is built upon this energy, and including your physical reality. Reality is created from the inside out, literally. Matter is just a conglomeration of energy vibrating at different states, at different levels of vibration, frequencies. So, law of attraction, now that you're radiating this thing that you want and becoming this person, your habits are building around it. So every action that you take will be from this new point of being. So therefore, new opportunities and alignment with what this desire is, this manifestation is, this new belief is, are going to start popping up everywhere. So you're going to see the breadcrumbs and shit's just going to start happening. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's going to feel so freaking magical that you don't even know how it's happening, but you're in alignment. So you're taking the action behind it, further solidifying, building the belief. You don't really even need to build it anymore, but because you're taking action, you're making the most movement and bringing forth whatever physical manifestation it is that is behind the desire or becoming this person. You're building this energy up. And that's where the journey comes in. And with a knowing, you do not know how to get, like you don't have a roadmap on how to get to said manifestation. But the key thing is here, you know what it is that you want, right? But you don't know what the journey looks like to get there. And it is designed to be like this. So you are going to take the actions to actually get the experience that you need to become fully this thing. So you're going to take the action and start like experiencing and creating clarity, because action creates clarity. You weren't going to know the journey unless you took the first step to then know the next step. And it is the scariest thing, because the brain wants to keep you safe, because when it doesn't know what to expect, it thinks danger. So this is where people struggle to maintain the knowing state, because fear will keep testing their faith. Now, if you keep holding that knowing and taking the action and building, it'll be fine. You won't see the fear. You'll be in such a state of love, because that is the emotion that is going to power this. So when I think of knowings, I think of the heart chakra. When I think of building confidence and belief, I think of building the solar plexus. And then the thought, I think of the third eye, because it was channeled into you. And that can be ever changing too, because you can change your mind. So those are kind of where the chakras are at play. But the one key driver with this is the heart chakra. It is the only emotion. Love is the only emotion that is actually going to push you past that fear to actually take the action. It is the only way, and that's how you know what is meant for you. That's how you know what is a knowing, and that is why knowings are in the heart chakra. If you have identified a limiting belief, meaning you have a desire, a thought something that you want, you feel uncomfortable around it, you feel limited, the thought of not having that thing brings you dis-ease. That is the sign of a limiting belief and having to go within to rewire some things. So in order to break free from this, you're going to have to build up your confidence and your faith in yourself. You're going to have to build that up until it is enough to be a knowing. So let's go over some ways in which we can do that. Working in the energy realm. So visualization, meditation, also what the mind can conceive, it can manifest in the physical. So what you can imagine, it can be brought here. If you can think it, it is possible to do because it already exists in some realm of energy and it's just waiting to actually be manifested physically. And you are the bridge that does that. So one of the second biggest ways that you can move energy is actually speaking things into existence. So that's where affirmations come in. Words hold vibration. Prayer is a vibration. That's why when you pray, you should pray knowing it already exists. I heard a quote one time that was, if we spoke the way that we prayed, our life would be holy. So your words are prayers pretty much. So that's more manifesting in the energy realm, or in what Dr. Joe Dispenza likes to call it, in the quantum field. And it can help speed it up. Things can feel better and just flowing. Like you don't necessarily have to take the action, but most people have to take the action. This is why we're in the physical. There is a certain amount of capability we have here because in who we truly are in the other realms, we can think of something and it's done like that. So this is the whole point of the physical. So the next thing that can help you is finding extenders. And what extenders are people who have what you want. Find examples of people who you want to be like, whether there's certain qualities of a person, whether they have something that you want, or they're doing the thing that you want to do. Having these examples is super important because the brain actually sees that it's been done. The brain will see that it's been done and it's actually possible. And so therefore it is possible for you. If you think that it's not possible for you, that is a limiting belief, and it is stuff that you have to rewire, because if somebody else can do it, so can you. So it doesn't matter if somebody had started off further along, more advantages whatsoever, your journey is going to look different, and therefore your perception and experiences are going to help mold you into the person that you need to become to reach said goal. You know, we're all on different journeys because we are all unique bundles of energy. You can have different extenders for different things you want to achieve in life. So I have a ton of different extenders. Gabby Bernstein is an extender for me for public speaking. I will then follow a process similar to what they've done. And even though it may not look the same, it's not going to look the same because we're going to be different energies. So my experience is going to be different. But the brain has more of a direction than it did before because I'm latching on to things that that person's done. I'm studying the action that person has taken. I'm feeling into what that person feels like for me. So then I can start to become that. The biggest point, self-love. That will be the thing that drives this whole thing home. Because when you hold self-love for yourself, when you accept your position in life, you accept these limiting beliefs, you stop saying, oh, I gotta get rid of these limiting beliefs, I gotta get rid of them so I can have the life of my dreams. That creates more of it. When you have self-love, you accept your position in life, you accept who you are, meaning these beliefs that you hold, you accept yourself. I know that this is where I'm at right now, and that is okay. I am here for a reason. I trust the journey for a reason. It's not where I want to be, but I have 100% faith and love for myself that I believe I will make the changes that need to happen to get to where I want to go. Turns it into a knowing instantly. Let me repeat that again. You accept yourself for where you're at, for the beliefs that you hold. You do not judge yourself for those beliefs or think they're bad or whatever, or give them whatever labels. They just are what they are, and that is okay. How they got there is not your fault, but is your responsibility to move them. You get the opportunity to do this. So you accept yourself, you love yourself, and you have enough faith and belief, confidence in yourself, and faith in the universe, if you want to, pull that in, faith in God, that you are what you are for a reason. And because you are a child of God, you are perfect where you are at. Even if you don't consciously like it, if your external world does not reflect what you know or what you want, you have enough faith and belief that it will happen, and love for yourself that it will happen, and you will show yourself love and gratitude along the way. Give yourself grace along the way on the journey. That is going to be where you're going to build your faith into the knowing. And yes, the journey will probably make you waffle between the knowing and the belief and the amount of faith that you have to build. That is just how life will test you to this desire, to your purpose. So this is how it works. Love will be the energy that pushes it through to the knowing. The key is to hold that vibration. And that, my friends, is how to build faith, confidence, break limiting beliefs. The key thing to understand here too is you will always be breaking limiting beliefs. When you achieve one goal, you will naturally start to form another and build upon it. So therefore you will have more limiting beliefs you will have to push past. And it is a cycle. The key for this is to be happy in the moment and not having those goals dictate your happiness. That is a trap. It's being happy in the moment. Gratitude for what you have, love in your life, already seeing all the love that you already are. You don't let these goals define you or your happiness, because you're going to achieve it and then you're going to be like, now what? And you will push for more. Anyways, guys, I hope that this was helpful. I hope it was insightful. This has been my experience, actually reflecting back on my own struggles, the process of it all, and then understanding how the energy works and what these things are. I kind of gave them definitions of how I felt that these things work together. Also, some things that have helped me besides, I've done personal development. NLP training was very good. Learn about yourself. Learn about how the mind works. Learn about how the human works. Learn about how the energy works, emotions, our thoughts. If you learn more about yourself and why you are the way that you are, you can unlock levels of existence and desires and dreams that you did not think were possible. Please give it a like, a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps me build my community of my good vibe tribe and helps more people get this information so that they can change their life. So apply this stuff, guys, and your life will turn around. So I'm sending you all of my light and all of my love. We'll see ya.